Salutations, ladies and gentlemen of the internet. I'm Grega. Well, several days ago, The Hollywood Reporter dropped this interview with GINA Carano. It was an extensive feature article in which GINA Carano detailed her experience getting fired from The Mandalorian by Kathleen Kennedy's odious regime over at Lucasfilm. And she talked about her in-progress lawsuit against Lucasfilm and Disney, bankrolled by the one and only Mr. Elon Musk. Now, if you've been following nerd culture for over the last several years or so, then you already know full well about the spurious reasons for which GINA Carano was fired from The Mandalorian. But for the ones of you that might not be aware, what happened was GINA Carano, former MMA fighter turned actress, played the mercenary Cara Dune on the Star Wars Disney Plus show The Mandalorian, which was very popular, and her character was a fan favorite. And in early 2021, which was an extremely politically fraught time in the United States and pretty much everywhere, GINA Carano dared to not fall in lockstep with the insane far left and, for lack of a better term, woke politics that are the party line of Kathleen Kennedy's regime at Lucasfilm. Like, as much as the LGBTQIA plus minus ampersand people shrilled at her to put pronouns in her bio, GINA Carano refused to do so. Actually, she did meet them halfway by completely sticking it in their eye. And she did that by saying that her pronouns were the same as R2-D2's. Beep, bop, boop. But GINA really pissed off Chatty Cathy's regime when she made these social media posts that expressed extremely tame and not edgy political sentiments. The post included this picture of this Jewish woman being terrorized by some bastard kid during the Holocaust, and it included this caption that said something to the effect of, "How is this any different from hating someone for their political views?" Now, you can argue that Holocaust comparisons aren't wise, they're usually not, but that sentiment is completely benign. In her interview, Carano said this about that post. She said that her post just made sense. Don't hate your neighbor. Before the National Socialists were as powerful as they became, you had to make it okay to hate this person next to you. That's how we get to dangerous places, and history does repeat itself. Now, if you've seen GINA Carano's interviews with the likes of Ben Shapiro, or more recently, her interview with Patrick Bet-David, there's probably not that much content in this Hollywood Reporter interview that's going to be that new to you. But what really makes this Hollywood Reporter article interesting is not so much the contents in it, but it's the tone of the article. Now, as it says in the name of the publication, the Hollywood Reporter is, at the end of the day, a Hollywood trade paper. So inevitably there are instances that reveal a political bias in the author, and of course that bias leans to the opposite direction of the way GINA Carano leans. Like, early in the article, the author describes the posts that got GINA fired as toxic. But on the whole, this article reads very sympathetically toward GINA Carano. At the very least, it holistically and, as far as I can see, accurately describes the events leading up to her cancellation. And this article does let GINA tell her side of the story in her own words without ever trying to mischaracterize what she's saying or ever feeling like it's trying to stick the knife into her. Now, that might sound like a dick-punchingly low standard to you, and yeah, it is. But the fact that this article clears that hurdle is absolutely astonishing when you consider the fact that for years now, the entertainment media has tried to paint GINA Carano as some sort of bigot, which she's not, of course. Anyone who's not a woke fuckbag knows that. I'm not trying to get over my skis here, but I see the fact that the Hollywood Reporter is now willing to do a mostly very nice feature on GINA Carano as a sign that things are changing. It's only a small drop in the bucket as far as the broader culture war is concerned, but it's a bigger sign that Disney and Lucasfilm, these insufferable purveyors of agitprop, are continuing to fall from their once vaunted position in the film industry. Hollywood trade publications are ultimately mouthpieces of the industry, and the fact that the Hollywood Reporter would do a nice feature on someone who's in a high-profile legal battle with Disney and Lucasfilm, that tells me that this publication is not minding its P's and Q's with those companies like it would have a couple years ago. And it makes complete sense. I mean, look at how much Kathleen Kennedy's failures over at Lucasfilm have risen to new levels of public awareness since South Park roasted the shit out of her.
Put a ticket in and make her name it gay!
And Disney just had a horrendous centennial year with many box office bombs, and its CEO is entangled in a proxy battle for the board of the company. So Disney and Lucasfilm, this leviathan of Hollywood that once would have been thought of as unstoppable, is being brought down by 1,000 cuts of its own making. And this mostly very nice feature on GINA Carano is a sign that the Hollywood trade press knows that. So that about wraps it up for this video. Chat it up in the comments down below and leave a like and subscribe if you dig what you've seen today. I'm Grega, and you all look after yourselves. Cheers.